This news is a little bit late, but I think it's something that got passed over a bunch with a lot of people talking about BLM and shit just because part of the tactic of demoralization and to keep us all from talking about the truth is to just bombard us with dozens of lies per day, per week at least, all at once, so you can miss the little details that really underpin and underline how fucking disgusting and repulsive Democrats are. The Jacob Blake shooting, the thing that started the whole Kenosha, Wisconsin deal, uh, a lot of people are so focused on the riots they forget about how wrong Democrats got the shooting at first. It's not just that Jacob Blake did go for a weapon and it was a completely 100% justified shooting on that fact alone. People forget that the reason why the police were called on Jacob Blake is because he was violating a restraining order, going to the home of a woman that he basically sexually assaulted, raped, basically. He forcibly finger banged her in order to test her to see if she was cheating on him. He was fucking out of his mind and threatening her children. All at once, the cops came and tried to subdue him. So, you want to talk about how black lives do not matter. And I mean absolutely under no circumstances do black lives matter in this country. Not at all. In this Me Too feminist culture that got us started down this fucking complete destabilization train, how much does the black life matter of Jacob Blake's victim, whom he raped, threatened, and stalked, went to her house, presumably drunk, and threatened to kill her? That's why the cops were called on him. How much does her life matter? Not at all. Not in the fucking slightest. Less than human. Doesn't matter. Her kids don't matter. I'm going to remind you once and for all, Black Lives Matter is two things. It is a terrorist organization with the express purpose of killing, murdering, looting, burning, arson, property destruction, and the terrorization of a populace in order to effect political change. That is, by definition, 100% same definition, a terrorist movement. The second thing that Black Lives Matter is an extortion racket. It is a criminal mafia. It is a mob. Okay? Because if you don't not just support them verbally, but support them financially, they will hurt you. That is a protection racket. It is a criminal, organized crime behavior. It is textbook. There is no possible fucking way to look at Black Lives Matter like they are the good guys. Because they are not. All they do is lie and hurt people. And they are exactly as I have described the progressive left for the past 6 years. Violent sadists. Their goal isn't even really some of the shit they say. They don't care that much about reparations. The point isn't to get free stuff from you. They can take that by force at any point. They don't need you to legally award them money. Because they will take your shit by violent force whenever they want. No problem. No issue. Can't even arrest them and expect them to get arraigned and fucking put in jail. They get immediately released kazoo COVID. It's all a fucking plan. They are colluding with terrorists in the government to do this. People who were funded by George Soros. You know, they've released a bunch of election records of the kind of DAs, like the DA in Atlanta that I've talked about previously, how they got elected. These are local races, usually with campaign budgets of the low to mid 5 figures, $10,000 to $50,000. George Soros arrives in their little town, and this, race that people don't normally think about, races for things like district attorneys, and pumps $1.5 million into a race where the opponents are usually fielding 50 grand. Yeah, on purpose. And what do all these guys say? We won't prosecute rapists. We won't prosecute gangbangers. We won't prosecute murderers. We won't prosecute bank robbers. We won't prosecute people who commit hate crimes because they're black, and I'm here to basically just not prosecute black people. I'm here to put cops in jail. And then they wonder why all this shit happens. This is all a plan. It's a conspiracy. And of course, we can't use that word conspiracy because literally the term conspiracy theory was coined by the CIA to stop people from talking about a conspiracy, a pre-planned by malicious actors event in order to fucking commit a crime. That's what a fucking conspiracy is. Like conspiracy to commit murder, conspiracy to commit armed robbery and shit. You can get charged for that. Even if you don't go into the bank building, even if you don't have a gun to a fucking guard or a teller's hand, if you help plan the bank robbery, you are guilty of conspiracy to commit bank robbery. Well, we have a conspiracy for terrorism and murder and arson and violent overthrow of the government, sedition and treason. That's what George Soros is guilty of. That's what the DA of the District Attorney of Atlanta is guilty of. That's what the lady who pulled up to fucking the Kenosha riots and shit with a U-Haul full of fucking signs and baseball bats and shit. That is what we're dealing with. Okay? And keep in mind, under all this, it's been true since meaningless shit that seems silly in hindsight like Gamergate, and it is true now in a full-scale civil war that's going hot as we speak. The Boogaloo is actually coming in November, folks. And what is happening now is all progressives ever do is lie. 100% of the time, no exceptions. Literally every single thing a leftist says about any topic whatsoever, all of them, from what color is the sky to what they ate for breakfast this morning to is Jacob Blake a criminal, all they do is lie. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris personally visited Jacob Blake and told them they were proud of him. The man is a criminal rapist and a thug and a woman abuser. Okay? He's a monster. He's a sexual predator. And the Democrats are proud of him. Is there anything to be proud of Jacob Blake for? No, it's a fucking lie. He's a piece of subhuman shit and he belongs in jail. And honestly, if there's a just and loving God, those 7 fucking bullets that hit him would have killed him. Because he's somebody who doesn't deserve to be walking around out here. Okay, he's a monster. And that is what Democrats, leftists, progressives, communists, socialists, Bernie bros, all of the above, they're all the same thing. They're all people trying to destroy a just and civil society and replace it with chaos and murderous roving bands. They'd rather have Mad Max, where we all kill each other over the gasoline in fucking gas stations to fuel our great big fucking death race murder cars, than to have a peaceful society. There is only one sane choice.